ஒரு சீரீஸ் ஆஃப் வெபினார் 1 வீக் நான் இதே மாதிரி ரெடி பண்ணேன். பை சான்ஸ் ஒட்டுக்கா அப்ரூவல் வாங்கி இதை நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காஷ்மீருக்கு ஒரு யூனிவர்சிட்டி இருக்கு, நான் நரேன்றதுக்கு கேளு, அவர் லிங்க் கொடுத்துருக்காரு. அவன் என்னப்பா யூனிவர்சிட்டி எனக்கு பேரே மறந்து, நான் யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்காரன் பேசணும், என்னமோ ஒரு வித்தியாசமான பேர் யூனிவர்சிட்டி. நரேன்ட்ட கேளு, இன்னைக்கு சாயந்தரம் அவன்கிட்ட பேசி அந்த அவங்ககிட்ட பேசிடுறேன். பேசி ஐ திங்க் வந்துட்டாங்க. நாங்க பாக்குறேன், பாருங்க புடிச்சு வந்துடுறேன், ஜாயின் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். ஓகே.
Ma'am, good morning.
Very good morning, pa. I'm on the line.
Ma'am?
One second.
Okay, ma'am.
Very good morning, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. I will attend, ma'am.
Line.
Yes, ma'am.
அங்கே மேடம் சனிதா மேடம் இன்னும் வரலையா?
அவங்க இன்னும் வரலைங்க மேம், நான் மொபைல்ல இருந்து வந்துட்டேன்.
வெரி குட்.
அவங்க கேக்குறாங்க மேம். சரி மேம்.
மேடம் ஜாயின் பண்ணட்டும்.
சரி மேம். ஓகே மேம். சரி மேம். தேங்க் யூ மேம். Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam,
Thank
Janita
you.
madam vandacha?
Vantaga,
Madam
ma'am,
is here.
vantaga.
Good morning,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay, I will take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very good morning, one and all present here. My voice is audible now, madam?
Yes, madam. You are
Yeah, yeah.
clear and you are visible and audible.
Yeah, definitely. Very good morning to one and all present here. It
Good
is
morning.
a memorable occasion. So Bharathiar University once again welcome all the Ek Bharat, Shesha Bharat of all the universities and the faculty members, coordinator, nodal officers of the state and central government as well as various universities. And this is a third program we are offering in Bharathiar University under RUSA as a nodal officer and of Ek Bharat, Shesha Bharat. So Tamil Nadu government, especially Bharathiar University, is taking care of this particular central government scheme to the Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh faculty members, students as well as to the public. This is a series of webinar actually. So we have been taken as a education tool for the career development. So from that, this week we have started, first series we have started and 10 more series is pending. So totally 11 series we have planned. So whatever the education opportunities available in Bharathiar University, it is really common to all the people, not only in Bharathiar University. This week, first series, first day, we have started about the career information on career guidance department, how the career guidance department works and what is the job opportunity, what is the eligibility, why we need a career guidance, all those things we have given. And second day, Madam Sangeeta has given about the textile and apparel designing opportunities to the students and how Bharathiar University is taking care of the other state students and all those things. And third day, Dr. Ponpandian have offered the information, the career information about the nanotechnology and its opportunity to the worldwide. And fourth day, that is Professor Sivasamy offered the human genetics and how it is differ from other life science as well as what are the job opportunities and the research opportunities available. And the fifth day, the last day of the first series, Professor Zenita Rosalyn is here, Head Department of Women Studies Director, and really I'm so happy to welcome Madam. Such a wonderful eminent, having more than 20 years of experience, and published many books and journals, as well as we closely this department is working with the Tamil Nadu government and the central government of National Commission for Women, as well as the department is closely working with the Oregon State University, USA for the joint collaboration, as well as the local, that's a district government and other related activities the department is taking care. The department is having a really wonderful department, a special unique department in Bharathiar University. And we have that, apart from Professor Zenita Madam and two more eminent faculty members in the department, Dr. Mangesh Karasi and Dr. Veni Kamaladevi. They are all taking care of that, how gender issues is going on, what all the empowerment opportunities available. And they are taking care of a lot of research work in that activity. So with that, I really welcome our Professor Zenita Madam, such a offer you today how women studies, the unique department, is offering a plenty of opportunities to the people, those who are interested and specialized particularly in the particular field. And also with that, I would like to thank all the state officials of Ek Bharat, Shesha Bharat, as well as the central officials, and also especially the Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh nodal officers. And also I would like to thank the central government for offering a wonderful scheme to the universities for integrating and collaborating and exchanging the culture and all the activities from one state to another state. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I also would like to thank my Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor P. Kalidas, Dr. Murugan, Registrar, and Coordinator Dr. Rupa Gunaselan under RUSA. So once again, I thank and also welcome Madam Pranita to offer opportunities and women. Thank you, Madam.
A very warm and pleasant good morning to all the dignitaries who have connected. First, my sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Vimala Madam, who has introduced me to the gathering. Thank you so much for the introduction, madam. Thank you so much, and for the opportunity. And when I talk opportunity, I first would like to thank our most honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P. Kaliraj sir, and our Registrar, Dr. K. Murugan sir, and of course, all the people in the dignitaries in the ministry from the center and from the Kashmir University and Ladakh region and the state regions who have put in their ideas to formulate this program and given Bharathiar University this opportunity, I would say, a great, wonderful opportunity for us to share our ideas and our eminences to all the people throughout the country. So the word itself, maybe I should start this way. The word itself, Ek Bharat, Ek Shrestha, is the most wonderful heart of the whole thing. It says unity in diversity, and that is where we stand. Now, Jammu and Kashmir is the top tip, and Tamil Nadu is the lowest, and so we are connecting through this wonderful program. So I think that itself shows how, though we are all in culture, in religion, in so many forms diverse, still we are all connected in certain regions, and the mainstream of the country lies in integration. When we are going global, I think the whole version is about how such a culturally diverse country is still able to stay united as a democratic nation. And this is the perfect platform where we are able to tell everybody that it is not about culture, it is not about the religion, it is not about the caste. We are united as independent human beings. Now, coming to the more crisp part of this whole talk, I would say I've been given a wonderful title of Unique Learning of Women Studies. I think that is the most appropriate word, because still there is a very a screen of thought. What does a woman studies exactly mean? Yeah, this woman studies is people keep asking us, what is that you have to talk about women? Do you all just interact about how is it women and who is woman and everything? No, I would like to put forth that women studies is an academic field that draws on feminist and interdisciplinary methods in order to place women's lives and experiences at the center of study. Now, why does that become important? It happens that we are supposed to be examining social and cultural constructs of gender, the systems of privilege and oppression. Women are not always in privileged positions, and there are so much of oppression, and how far this oppression can be compensated or can be overcome is one of the most major areas of introspection in the women studies curriculum. Now, when we are talking about the development of women, it also intersects other identities of social locations such as race, sexual orientation, socio-economic class, and disability. When we talk about social or sexual orientation, I think we have come to a day when we are not only talking about male, female, and transgender. So we have come to a stage where all of us have to be given equal opportunities. So we also undertake programs of how to understand and what space we need to give them, and how much of understanding they also have to be given to come into the main forum, because ultimately it's the job we do. It's not about being a male or being a female. That is the baseline here. It is not about talking that this female, this female will have to do this male have to do this. I think we are breaking the ceiling or the glass ceiling of that ideology of a female job, male job, and the gender stereotyping. I think we are overcoming that through this education. We cannot sideline that a woman cannot do this job or a man cannot do this job. We are coming into an equal platform here, and it is at this situation we get to talk about the standpoint theory of intersectionality. What does the standpoint theory say? These theories were formulated in the 1970s, but they were not much discussed, but today it's part of our day-to-day class. What does the theory say? The theory says that the marginalized and the underprivileged are in a position to express themselves and their needs more than people who are privileged. They says that policies and decisions have to be oriented more towards the marginalized than for the higher level of people. It also says that only when we give opportunities for the marginalized to express themselves and get into the socio-economic development process, especially the marginalized women. I would like to emphasize here, because there are humpty number of schemes which are coming up, and we are all talking about social inclusion of women into the mainstream in order to increase our gross domestic product of the country. So how does this happen? How do we get to pull in these marginalized women? How do we get to harness their active working power? Now all this we are trying to do through this curriculum and standards of education under the umbrella of women's studies. Now, we in women's studies talk about multiculturalism, transnational feminism, social justice, effect studies, and agency biopolitics, materialism, and so much forth. This is related to fields of gender studies, feminist studies, and more broadly related to the fields of cultural studies. Now, to give a little more insight into what is the scenario of women's studies globally, or how does the history stand? In 1977, there were 276 women's study programs, all the nationwide, and the number of programs increased in the following decade, growing up to 530 programs in 1989. Whereas women's study courses are now offered in over 700 institutions in the US and globally in more than 40 countries. Now, coming to the history or the actual process of how the women's studies was formulated in our Bharathiar University, I would like to start with that the Department of Women's Studies of Bharathiar University actually was born in 2004. Excuse me, could I please ask if you all are able to follow the PPT? Is the PPT uploaded? Can I talk to somebody who's online?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
PPT not shared, ma'am.
Okay, Monday is there actually. Maybe I will just do that now. Maybe. One minute, maybe I'll do that now. Okay, I'll be able to share the PPT with all of you. Just hold on, but I shall continue with my conversations. Okay, in Bharathiar University, department, or we call it the center, it was born as a center in 2004. Now, the center was formulated in the 10th plan period, and it started in a very small way with one director and one assistant professor and a minimal number of people. Now in 2008, it was formulated as a department. What does a department mean? Department mean we are not only doing extension and research activities on gender development, we are also focusing on providing programs degree programs. So we provide MA, MPhil, MA Women Studies, MA, MPhil Women Studies, and PhD in Women Studies. Now, since from the current year, the NEP 2020 says that anybody who has completed MA could directly join a PhD. Currently, we would not be able to offer MPhil programs, but then so far we have been offering the MPhil programs too. So we offer MA Women Studies program, which is a 2-year program, and the PhD we have both part-time and full-time programs. So more to the center is that in 2009 it became a statutory body, and in 2012, so far it was from 2004 to 12, 8 years it was as a center, and it is called phase 1. In 2012, because of all the access and all the successful work that the department was proceeding with, it was promoted by the UGC into phase 2. So that enabled further activities and promotion of extension activities and research. And so by 2016, which was 4 years, we have moved into phase 3, which is so very important an achievement for the department in its terrain, because in Tamil Nadu we are the number 1 institution which has the phase 3 status. In the country, we stand number 3rd because of the activities and all the meticulous promotion of women studies, gender sensitization programs, and all the activities. We have been moved into this phase in 2016 onwards. Now, once we moved into the 3rd phase, the UGC guideline says that the department should flourish further. There should be transnational and international collaborations. So we did take up the steps of moving forward, and we have signed a letter of collaboration with Oregon State University or the Department of Gender and Sexuality Studies of Oregon State University of Oregon State University, and this was signed in 2019, and in this we are looking forward. It was because of the pandemic we were not able to invite students over, but otherwise this letter of collaboration is for the next 5 years from 2020 to 2025, which is about transnational collaboration for research, faculty exchange, and student exchange programs. So it is in this stepping stone of reaching the global scenario and getting to know more about the world that this letter of collaboration was signed. We also have visited the 40th annual conference of the National Women Studies Association of the US, where we did get to see all or more than 2,000 participants from around the globe, which also gave us an insight of how important it is to get the woman power out and how important it is to educate people into generating women education and empowerment of women. Let me go to the next slide. So to strengthen our ground roots, yes, madam. Yes, madam. Are you able to listen now? Am I audible? Now we are trying to upload the presentation.
Not ask faculty to share the.
Okay, fine, madam. That's fine. Okay.
Another
so. Okay, madam. That's fine. Thank you. Now to strengthen our madam. To strengthen our backgrounds in the local society, we have entered into MOUs with the REST NGO, which is Rural Extension Service Trust. They are into microfinance. So through this, the students who are studying with us will get an exposure of how important microfinance is for the marginalized women and how microfinance can be made available for their empowerment and how microfinance can help enable an independent journey of a woman. So this REST NGO has partnered with us, and students who join with us will definitely get an output there. Then we are in MOU with SEMA, which is Center for Empowering and Educating the Marginalized. They are in club with the NABARD, which is National Agricultural and Rural Development Bank. So they have fundings, and through SEMA, the women who are clubbed with us will be able to get funds from the NABARD. So we will be able to teach the students how important NABARD is for rural development and what are the facilities that NABARD is providing for women exclusive with different rates of interest and lineage and time of repayment. So again, SEMA is another organization or NGO with whom we are clubbing. And then we have Aishwaryam. Again, this is about Aishwaryam is an exclusive area where they are into rehabilitation of the downtrodden, or they talk about health issues, HIV patients and other people who are women exclusive, women and children. Hope, excuse me, hope it's visible for everybody. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so Aishwaryam is about rehabilitation. It rehabilitates AIDS women and also children who are in the downtrodden. So students who work with us get the field exposure. See, women studies or educating women studies inside a forum is not exactly the reality of the field. Today is a day where we have to understand what is the ground scenario. That is really so difficult unless we take them to the field and we make them understand. Yes, today's pandemic situation has made life online. Irrespective of that, we can always connect them online or connect them to the actual case studies on the field through our connectivities online, through which the students will definitely get to understand the simplicities and the essence of day-to-day living. So Aishwaryam is another great organization with which we would be working, and the students will have enriched knowledge. Enriched knowledge, I need to use that word because whatever books we write, the real field scenario is so different when we get to see that independent person or that patient, an HIV victim who shares her knowledge of how she had got the infection and what are the remedies or what are the precautions one can take. So I think it is like that we are able to empower the further coming society to help them enable understand the aftermaths of silly mistakes which they do with ignorance of what should not be done. Now we are also into an MOU with another NGO, the Good Shepherd. This is again an NGO which is getting funds from the German government in so many other forms, and they work for the upliftment of the downtrodden people, in particular women and children, for bringing sustainability to their lives, for contributing to the social change. We empower women socially, economically, and politically. Now, this is in short about the NGOs we are collaborating with. Now, otherwise, what is that we do at Department of Women Studies? Yeah. I would say the UGC stipulations to our department states that we are 60% research, extension and advocacy, and only 40% is teaching. When I say teaching, this 40% is our MA Women Studies. Okay, So the studies of the students enrolled is only 40% of our activity. Our 60% of activity goes into such awareness programs, like, for example, the Government of India, like Ministry of Women and Child Development, regarding women welfare, they have given us, or we are the empaneled institution for the year 1819, 1920 to conduct awareness programs on the Redressal Act of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace 2013. So we have conducted programs all through the country. To enumerate, almost 20 programs we have conducted into various disciplines in the public sector, in the private sector, and in also educational institutions, as to what are the actual options are available, activities. We have taught them about what is exactly harassment and what is sexual harassment. There was a day, I would like to spot this out, maybe a few more minutes on this slide. There was a day when sexual harassment meant only physical abuse. I would like to use that word. But now those terms have been redefined over a period of time. I do not want to quote cases, though we have so many to enumerate still. Now the day has come after the Me Too movement and after the act has been passed, that sexual harassment can be verbal abuse, can be any wrong message, or it can be any wrong comment, or any, now because everything is online, it can be even a wrong poster. Anything comes under the sexual harassment clause. And under this act, we have the internal complaints committee, which has been stipulated by the UGC to be mandatory, installed in every organization, not only academics, not only universities, also in institutions, organizations, and workplaces. And through this act, we are trying to, we are all members in our academic fraternity, are ICC members in different forums. So wherever there is an appeal in the ICC committee, which is otherwise the Internal Complaints Committee, which comes as part of this Redressal Act, and through this act, again, justice is provided to the person who's appealing for justice. So how to do it and what of it is definitely again taught in our program. So through this, we are giving the students a big exposure to the country. Here I would like to quote, when we were visiting the US at the NWS in San Francisco in 2019 November, we again were wondering how this harassment or the Me Too movement had enacted from the US. So how did this happen and what is the current status of issues? The Me Too movement started in the US in 2016. So 3 years gone by, how are issues? So we were really stunned to see that all the educational institutions had a very strong, academic institutions had very strong law portals, or they had certain forums exclusively. They don't call it as the ICC, but they have strong forums where the appeal is taken in, and the regulations are very strictly formulated, and the happenings of such activities at workplace or in academic institutions have been brought down at a very hard level. And I think our ministry also has been doing a great job in supporting us in carrying out such activities, and we are successfully creating awareness all over. And through this learning, the students are also getting exposed to the realities of nature. What is exactly abuse? I think that understanding itself, our students do not understand. So when we teach them, they are able to make others also understand what is a good touch, what is a bad touch, what it is not to have a proper understanding of work scenario, what is wrong and what is right in an official scenario. All these details are very broadly classified and educated. I think, as Gandhiji said, be the change. Yes, the change cannot happen just like that over a day. So we are creating awareness among the students. Now, if I'm talking about one girl, if that girl can be a family, that family can be part of a society, that society is part of a state, the state is part of the country. So the change has started, and we are trying our level best in educating all our students in these scenarios so that the message keeps passing and the change keeps happening. Now, talking about gender budgeting, that's again a great area which again we have been conducting 8 programs through the Ministry of Women and Child Development. They have given us the sponsor. We have written programs, and since we've been successfully conducting the programs, they are continuously supporting us to take up the program. Now, what is gender budgeting and why is gender budgeting so important? This may be news to many of you watching as much as it is for students who are just joining in. But today, for the policy decision makers, for those in positions who are allocating funds, gender budgeting is the norm of the day. Why? Because there should be budget allocated for women and men in an organization equally. We cannot say that a woman will take a maternity leave for 9 months, so your budget will be less. I think that's where the gender parity has to be focused. So today, the gender budgeting is such an important course to be understood, and we are trying our best in all forums to inform officials in different scenarios. We collect them at their local areas and we educate them how a gender budgeting has to be arrived at. We teach them what is the proportion of fund which has to be allocated, how even women who have to deliver babies can. Yes, definitely our system does promote that 9 months of paid leave is provided for government employees, but think about other people. I don't think everybody gets that facility, so we educate people in other sectors also how gender budgeting has to be very beautifully done, because there's a simple fact that I want to emphasize here, that woman power is not simple power. So even if a woman goes on leave and comes back, she can compensate and do the justice to the job, and she is so versatile and she is so multitasking. So gender budgeting, give budget sufficiently so that they will also be included into the mainstream, and gender mainstreaming is becoming the next talk of the day. So we have to bring, let me talk about this slide once, that's, give me 5 minutes. So gender budgeting, the whole idea of gender budgeting is to bring the women into the main workforce, or we call it as gender mainstreaming. That is what we're talking about, women inclusion. I would like to quote a few things here before I go on to the projects. For example, every year, March 8th, we celebrate women, though we celebrate women through the year 24/7, 365. Still, March 8th is supposed to be a Women's Day. Now, this year, the Women's notion on Women's Day was all girl and boy are born equal, so bring them up equal, treat them equal. Now, this is the change that is happening. That is, we are not supposed to be differentiating that the girl will play only with the Barbie doll and the boy will always play with the motorized car. I think that's a small example to make us understand how much we are supposed to be focused right from the beginning of bringing up a boy and a girl at home, that both of them are equally born, they need to be equally educated, and they need to be giving equal opportunities to perform in tomorrow's life, and only then an equal society will be possible. An equal society is so essential today to have sustainable development. I think sustainable development is a very, very important word. Development cannot be a frequency curve of going up and coming down. No. there should be sustainable development. In my first days of education, of my management education, the first days of education, what I was taught is what is management? Maximum utilization for profit with available resources. Now, that is the basic fundamental rule, but now we have come to understand that the women resource is widely spread across the country. Now, if I have to be a little more elaborate here, in the globe, there are 133 countries who are utilizing the women workforce or the women labor into the economic contribution of the nation. Okay, 133 I said, and India says 123. But we have women's workforce. 60% of India's population are women, and we have immense in which 40% are into the workforce. But how many of them are into higher positions, into leadership positions, into the mainstream jobbings, and how much of them are into the gender budget with equal opportunities? Is there still discrepancy in salary? Yes. In our webinars, even last month, we had a conversation with the Canadian people, and they said, even in teaching, their salaries are different between men and women. Now, I think that's the basic thing here that we are discussing when we're talking about unique education in women. There is nothing so unique about women, that's not the idea. But definitely not including women into the mainstream, not including women power into the actual building of the nation is where we are lacking, and definitely that is how this fundamental idea has been brought in, and that is why we have been given such opportunities by the ministry to skill the women. We have the highest working population. India has the highest working population, and how much we can skill them into the main workforce is the big activity that we are all trying to do through the academics, and definitely such projects are going to pave way, and we in women studies are striving hard. Yes, striving hard, because there are 163 centers in the country, 57 in the state, and we are definitely running far ahead in this race, because our team is doing a lot in empowering women. Now, how are we doing that? What is the proof? Yes, here we are. The ongoing projects that we have. Now, RUSA, which is otherwise called the Rashtriya Uchtar Shiksha Abhiyan project. Now we have been sanctioned the entrepreneurial skill development for financial empowerment of the marginalized destitute women in Coimbatore district. Definitely, it's a lovely project where we get to meet the marginalized women in the local scenarios. We go and meet them. Yes, the pandemic is been on, so as and when we are able to meet them, we go meet them, and then we go online and give them the training programs. So what entrepreneurship for women skill development. Yeah, the beautiful scenario. Women are so energetic and so fun filled to take up such entrepreneurial ventures. But where do they need support? They need support how to do the venture, what venture can be opt for them. Where they really suffer is their marketing. They do not know after they have a wonderful product how to market the product. They do not know how to sell the product. When we talk of Indian culture, Indian scenario, Indian antiques, we talk about all those. When you're talking about a foreigner wearing a terracotta jewelry, it will be $10 there, whereas a local person can make it for 220 rupees or 50 rupees or 100 rupees. But how does the product go there? How does the end person get? The actual skill of the local marginalized women is immense. We have to just groom them and tell them you can do it like this, and we have to give them how the multi-level marketing or social network marketing or niche marketing, what are the different marketing styles they can undertake so that their product can sell, and that will give them sustainable lifestyle. I think I need to keep emphasizing on that word, because entrepreneurship is a wonderful area where the women are not aware, and I think we are taking steps to make them aware in our own levels. So maybe in the next segment we will go interstate, and then okay, entrepreneurship in the global scenario is a very difficult scenario. We will talk in the state and in the country level. So in this program, we are immensely working on the project, and under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, we have been sanctioned women's contribution to farm-based economy and their access to land rights. Excuse me. I think this is a burning topic of the era, and definitely when we took up this topic for taking it up, we had certain field cases and live case studies in our own families. So, in our department, we wanted to give justice to such people, especially women and farm or women and agriculture. There is so much of disparity there. Right, the women does most of the hard jobs and the man does less of the hard jobs, but still the pay scenario is so different. Again, all said and done, women in any scenario has to manage family, work, and the social positions less equivalently to men. I would re-emphasize on this project or on this version, because when we were on a webinar, we were on an international webinar with the US, with the UK, with the Arabic countries and India, and women from all over the globe were able to share. And one thing they all had to say was, they were all women positions in very good positions, but everybody had to say this, that irrespective of all the work we do, finally when it comes to the house and when it comes to child caring, when it is about balancing the family, yes, we are really at despair. Somebody said that they do not have the crush to leave the baby, so they are finding it so difficult to manage the baby at home. Somebody said the daycare who comes to take care of the elderly people at home found it difficult to manage the work at home. So similarly, even in the agriculture sector, the women who are working in the field are finding it not justified. The scale of pay and all their access to land rights is not justified. Yes, today in our state the rule has come that the girl and the boy have equal property rights, but how far it is executed in family wise is again part of our research. The National Commission for Women sanctioned a project on implementation of how the Harassment at Workplace Redressal Act is being executed in all the institutions. So that is another study going on. So here we are actually assessing the implementation of this act and how many are benefited and how far is it really viable. So that study is also going on simultaneously. And then we are also talking about domestic violence and effectiveness thereof. Yes, domestic violence is a great area. There is no small area where we could really excuse me, we could club domestic violence into domestic violence, like the harassment is. Domestic violence can be so many things. Before, maybe in the uneducated segment, we would say the husband comes drunk in the evening and he is beating up his wife. I think today that scenario has changed. In every forum we see harassment and violence. It can be verbal abuse, it can be any abuse, it can be sexual abuse, it can be like the ATM card is with the husband, whereas the wife is not being able to spend the money. It can be so many issues. So in the profile, this domestic violence, people are not coming forward to express their difficulties. So in the social welfare department here in our state, we have the social welfare officers, and under them we have the protection officers. These protection officers are exclusively taken in to get the registered cases of domestic violence in their local areas, and they can represent it to the social welfare officer, and then the social welfare officer will take it to the local court, and then the justice is given. But again, these cases have to be registered, and only then no word of mouth can be taken in. So our students who study all this are having umpteen number of opportunities. Now they can get opportunities in the National Commission, in the State Commission, Ministry of Women and Child Development, State Welfare Officers. They can go as psychological counselors. They can go as mentors. They can go as self-help group coordinators. They can create their own NGOs and non-government organizations. They are multi-skilled. To add on, we have the one more scheme. We have the skill development project which has just been sanctioned to us again, because today we are talking about industry ready graduates. We are talking about employability skills. Because today's skill, it is not the education. I think the NEP 2020 is a wonderful platform which after so many years has revised what education is exactly supposed to do. Education is not about getting a degree and saying just that I got this degree, you give me the job. No, NEP says that is not how it is. You skill yourself accordingly. You want a diploma, you want a certificate, you want a degree, you skill yourself and make yourself eligible for a job. So under this, we have been sanctioned this English entrepreneurship and employability skill development, because communication today is so very important. Communication is so important, and so we are talking about communication here. We are talking about how to talk or how to start an enterprise, or what are the venture capitals that you can, what is your working capital, what should be a profit balance, and what should be your break even, and what are the kind of marketing you can do. All that we teach them in this course. And employability skill development. So here in employability skill development, I think the most important area we call as a soft skill. Whatever is the hard skill, whatever is my degree, whatever is my experience, whatever is my knowledge, makes no sense. I emphasize, makes no sense if I am not actually skilled in my soft skill, my personality development, my people skill development has to be so willing. I should be a willing learner. I should be willing to learn what I don't know. Rather, I must be able to accept, yes, this is something I do not know. So kindly teach me and I will learn and work up to the expectations of this work you've given me. So I think employability skill is about accepting what you don't know, at the same time doing the best of what you know. And that is what an industry today needs. The industry says, I will take you if you are willing to learn. Because every industry demands different work sittings, and we cannot just say, I'm sitting in the seat, so this is what I will do. No, you must be able to work on the ground floor, you shop floor, you must be willing to go to the second level, third level, and once you are in the managerial seat, still you must be able to have open door policy and accept the shop floor people to come in, and we should be able to interact with them and keep the company going. So I think that is one great area that we are working here, and our students will be superfluous by the time they work out this, and the industry is going to just come and take them from us. And we have one more wonderful segment, which is travel and tourism. Today's scenario says travel will be difficult, but we will reach that position soon. The scenario, the pandemic scenario, will definitely overcome, and we will go into the segment. But again, the event management for postgraduate students is again so very meticulous. We have so many online programs going on. This is about time management. This is about specific sequencing of events. What is first, what is second, what is third. So all this put together is being taught here. Now, as I had already specified earlier, we are providing courses MA, or educating students in MA Women Studies full time. In distance also we have MA Women Studies and BA Women Studies, PhD full time and part time in Women Studies. Now, from the current year, we are into 1 year postgraduate diploma in women entrepreneurship, which is very close to my heart. And this course is about taking in any interdisciplinary. Now, when I'm talking about MA Women Studies, we purposefully made the undergraduation can be any discipline. So it is an interdisciplinary course. So any undergraduate student can apply for MA Women Studies. That's actually an advantage for us because we specialize. We have students from Assam, we have students from Telangana, we have students from Kerala, we have students from our native state, and then we also are welcoming students from Jammu and Kashmir because today is a virtual world, so reaching is not at all an issue. And definitely, students from Jammu and Kashmir are welcome. I, being the director, have interactions with the Center of Women Study Directors all over the country. I am well informed about the Kashmir University and I know students there, and the scenario is so different than it was. Girl students are so well smart and they are willing to educate. And our course, again, I would like to specify MA Women Studies is for both gender. Maybe somebody would question, you're talking about gender sensitization and why only women should study a course. No, our course is open for both boys and girls. MA Women Studies, be it PhD, we have full-time, part-time men doing PhD here. We have full-time, we have MA Women Study, boys also undertaking the course. They are into very good positions. They go as event managers, they get good positions, they are well placed, they are well informed about tomorrow's society. When it comes to the postgraduate diploma on women entrepreneurship, I thought it would be more apt if I would give preference to women here because women are more versatile. I would re-emphasize on that. They are more versatile. If I hurt somebody's ego, I'm sorry about it. But the point is, I would like to uplift more of the marginalized women because in the marginalized segment, they really are not in a position to, because of the local culture and the commitments, they are not able to come for a 9 to 5 work even after they're educated. So even such women, after their graduation, they are mostly homemakers, they are only caretakers, and they are handling family issues, and they are not able to get off from the house and come for a work. So when we offer them this program, they are so happy because their innate talent to make decisions, to execute work is very good. So we are giving them this opportunity so that they can take up ventures which is very good at them. Some are good at basket making, some are good at vermicomposting procedures, organic farming, rooftop gardening, terracotta jewelry. So there are multi number of skills that these ladies are so good at. So we are providing some higher level training on such attributes, and then we are also giving them ways of how the product can be marketed and how finance can be sourced through the banks from these NGOs we are clubbed with, and how the repayment can be done and how they can have a sustainable lifestyle. This is the something important for women studies. All about women studies is about giving a sustainable lifestyle for today's women, especially the marginalized. Now, coming to the other side of life, we have a certificate course on art of blissful living. Maybe the question would be, how do you know how it is to live a blissful life? Yeah, I'm not authorized to. So, yet we took up this course because it is the prevalent situation that the number of divorce cases are increasing, and even in the divorce cases, because we are in contact with lawyers and advocates who keep giving us advices through the internal complaints committee and in other forums. So when they were discussing, the question came up like the number of divorce cases are increasing, and today's youth in general are not very serious about values of life, and especially the girls are very curt in their decisions, and they are not being really forthcoming in being adjustable, and there is no understanding in family, and so many other issues came up. So we thought, okay, why don't we do some part for this also, and we've taken up the certificate course. And as you see, the certificate course is conducted with 10 sessions in which each session will have one successful couple who have been married for minimum 25 years. I meant that word, minimum 25 years. I think that takes time to understand. And who have been successful both in this in their social scenario, in their family scenario, and also in their personal career. We have certain criteria. These three criterions, we did select 10 successful couples, and in each session these successful couples come and interact with the students, and they teach them that money is not everything. There should be understanding and respect between man and woman. Respect man and respect woman for what each of them are. Share issues and live a blissful life. It's not that everybody will be born with a silver spoon, no. Everybody has difficulties. Each of them did have difficulties. So they shared with us how they started, how they developed in their careers, and how they were successful, and what are the values that one has to bear in mind to reach that stage. I think today that is missing in families and in the social scenario, because we are all job driven and all of us are technology driven. So meeting and interacting in families has reduced to a very large level. So it has brought the reason for us to continue with such a course. Otherwise, this was not a course when we grew up, because we did not have cell phones to sit along with or laptops to talk like this. It was all face-to-face sessions. Things were very simple. Today, it's globe on your laptop. So things have to be a little more crisp and precise. And so we had to take up this course, and we feel we have done justice so far, and we are looking forward to do a lot more to the society. The students are so interested in this course, and they take up this course, and they are definitely benefiting in good family living. Now, apart from this, we are offering from our Department of Women's Studies, we are offering 3 certificate courses. Now, we are talking about Women Inclusive Robotic Process Automation. That is one certificate course. The second one is on Artificial Intelligence in Gender. The third one is Big Data Analytics in Gender Studies. Now, this has become a need of the hour more than a luxury. Why? Because whatever is the knowledge and the skill that anybody today has learned has to be technology driven. Industry 4.5 to Industry 5.0. Sustainable Development Goals 2030. All of these, gender equality, SDG 5. All these, though it is in the segment-wise scenario, but we have to be technology driven, we have to be a techno savvy. Only then we can master, we can run the race, we can win the global race. Technology has come to rule, and if all our education of women empowerment and gender sensitization has to be successfully passed on, we need to have access to technology. We need to educate students of how important that is and how useful it is. So robotic process automation enables in how a simple process can be made very simple by connecting into a big network, and how a simple job or a difficult job or a same job which is repeated tasks can be done simultaneously. And we say a profit of a particular business can be increased when your unit production per unit of time is more with the given resource. I don't know how much of that you understood. Profit can be maximized in any business when your unit production per unit of time is more with the given resource. Now, woman inclusive robotic process automation is about how a same repeated job can be collectively made available in a process, so efficiency is increased. When we increase efficiency, definitely productivity is increased. When we increase productivity, profit is increased. This is a simple formula, but if the students are really empowered with this tool, again with artificial intelligence. How artificial intelligence can be really mobilized in gender issues. What big data analytics? Again, how big data, when you have an NGO with 2000 data inside, how this can be classified. Classification of data, execution of work, which is more of man-made and which is on physical writing. If all this can go on automation, then the job can be multifold. So we can reach more population, we can empower more of the society, we can do more efficient job. The actual receiver, the ultimate end users can be more. So then that is how it is. So we will be able to do justice to the cause of women's studies through these automation courses, and we are doing that too. Now, the value added courses which we are providing, emotional quotient for women empowerment. My very close to heart course again. What is emotional quotient? What is emotional intelligence? Why should somebody be emotionally intelligent and why a woman? Yeah, definitely a woman. Yeah, because women are supposed to be very unstable in mind. Excuse me, because this is what was said. We are correcting it in this course. Women are supposed to be highly sensitive, highly emotional, indecisive. No, when we are supposed to be emotional, intelligent, when we qualify or when we groom the student of how you should empathize, how we should try and put ourselves in another person's shoe, how intelligent I should know how to classify this is my work, this is my home. Do not mix home and work. Do not mix misery with pain or misery with joy, or do not always get engrossed in further happenings which are not under your control. So this emotional quotient is a big tool for women today who are into a what you say a panorama of events, family balancing children, family balancing work, balancing cooking at home, balancing what do you say no maid at home. So I get my friends calling me and telling me it's so difficult to manage, it's so difficult to manage. So I am getting very tensed, I'm getting depressed because I'm not able to manage family and life. No, I think this emotional quotient applies in such scenarios, and today it is so important because there is a beautiful world waiting there, and only if we are groomed sufficiently, or the current generation is groomed sufficiently, will they be able to face and get the best of what they have and have a peaceful life. Cyber security and women, again, a very important area. We are really so happy that we are able to do this for people because today it's technology driven, media driven, and the cyber security has become so important. There are many people who are unaware. I would like to include myself or my generation of faculty, mothers, wives, sisters, whatever. Most of us are not so much of a technology savvy as today's millennial generation. I would like to quote the millennial generation, those who are born after 2010. Okay, so these are the millennial generation. They are all techno savvies. We are the second generation, the X generation. The baby boomers are the 80 plus people. Okay, they had a blissful life, yeah, beyond technology, good breathing air, good drinking water, fresh food, fresh vegetables, and all organic, no chemicals, healthy lifestyles, and many are gone and many are yet to go, but still healthy enough to go. So they are the baby boomers, their time is okay. And then comes the X generation, the you and the me of it. So who are neither that side or neither the techno savvy. We are battling in like how to eat, or we are like looking for organic food because the other one is healthy. We are looking for diet control, no sugar free. Okay, so all kinds of calamities, obesity. Okay, and so many heart attacks, and now the pandemic finally to crown all of it. So this is our generation. But now to coming to the next techno savvy or the millennial generation, especially the adolescent children who are born with the iPhones and who live with laptops, whose classes are with laptops, whose classes are with cell phones. Okay, they learn to mute the phone, they learn to mute the call, they learn to what? How much of learning are they doing? How much of security do they have? How much of actual safety is there? Yes, technology is a boon, but how much of awareness are we giving to the children of how it can be used and how it cannot be used and how much it can be an abuse? I think it is there. The cyber security and women is a priority, and we are definitely educating our students so that once they are into the world, they are so sure that none of their photos will go unauthorized, none of their messages are unauthorized, they cannot be hacked or their accounts cannot be hacked, and so much of it. So I think after they study all of this, they will be wonderful societal people. That message they can take it to their family. Each child can take it to their family. Each family can share it with their neighborhood or society in whichever forum they talk. Then the message is spreading. I think that message spreading. I think there was an information that if you want to actually spread a message fastest more than lightning, tell a woman. I would like to host the same thing here. Yeah, yeah, tell it to a woman, tell it to us, and we'll spread the good news, and the society will definitely value it and add from it. Then we have the job oriented course that is about women in SMEs. Yeah, SMEs. The small and medium enterprises. It's a sad note to accept truly that in the current pandemic, the most hit are the SMEs. In the global scenario, in the UK, in the US, in Arabia, in India, all the four forums we had interactions, and all of them had the same note to say, because the small and medium enterprises have suffered a lot, many have gone jobless, all of it is there definitely. But slowly the cloud is clearing, so definitely we will educate the students of what it is and how to overcome this, and how at the pandemic, in the pandemic situation, how the SMEs can still survive. There is always sustenance of business. We should be open minded, we should be willing to change, we should be able to find an alternate. As the Mr. Pichai of Google said, this is a dark gray situation, but it is for he who opens his eyes and mind to find a new way. You will always find a solution if your mind is there. So in pandemic, try to see how another product can sell. For an example, we were all so focused. Now since I'm online, I'm not with the mask, but otherwise I'm always with the mask. So then people came up with innovative masks, golden mask, colored mask, masks for children. Innovation, yeah, today's day of innovation. So even in SMEs, we are trying to teach them how business can be flourished if you have innovative ideas of keeping a mind open, of finding an opportunity. The actual springboard technique, out of the box thinking, all of that we teach them. Then we have the next job oriented course, Go Career Ready in Gender Studies. I think that's again a wonderful course that is an MOU with what do you say, organization. Okay, it's an organization who are training, who will be conducting personality development courses and doing soft skill assessment for students. I think soft skill assessment can be done online also, but the review and the feedback is so very important. Once you get your score, a student should be able to understand where they say stand 7 in 10 and where they stand 3 in 10. They should work on the 7 to be 10, and they should try to reduce the 3 to 1. I think that can be done only when you undergo such courses and we are with people who are able to advise how to do it. It's always easy to say you're right and wrong, but how is it that you correct your wrong is important. So in this course, we will be guiding the students as to how they should undertake areas in their own profiles, in their own scenarios, how they can build on their strength and reduce their weakness. Otherwise, the SWOT, the strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So we teach them how to do their SWOT, and how to work on their strength and how to really reduce their threats. So that's about our job oriented course. Now, along with this, now these are the field visits we had conducted so far physically, but again, we are again now all the NGOs are definitely techno connected, and all of them are connected on Google with us. So we will be giving them case studies, and we will be having live interactions with the field people in these organizations so that the students get to understand the field scenario. Maybe sometime, and once things clear up, they will get to the field and they will get to meet them. So these are the organizations in short for you all to just have an idea with what are the works that we are planning to do and the NGOs we are working with. Now, I think that is fairly to the end of my session so far, and that's in short. I think Professor Dr. Vimla Madam had already given you a short introduction about myself, so that is not necessary there. Now, the UGC has stipulated to our department that we need to conduct advocacy and also extension and training. Now, under advocacy, I would say the first picture is about the inaugural of our Art of Blissful Living course at Nirmala College, where I had the interaction with 100 students of that institution, and they underwent the course in 10 sessions, and after which the governor distributed the certificates in person, and of which the students have been very happy, and after which we are conducting the programs in the university and few other institutions, and still people are willing to take it up for our career development of students. Then the next one is the actual 25th year of UN Women and National Commission Women. So this was a forum where one director of each state, so all over the country we connected, we did share issues of what are the difficulties of bringing women's studies into the mainstream of education, what is the curriculum that could be developed right from Manipur till Tamil Nadu, this side Gujarat, that side Kerala, everything, all of us from each state were there. It was a wonderful platform, and definitely all that study is going to get incorporated into our mainstream of education, and we are already connected with the state. In all the states we are connected, so we welcome students, and we also partner with seminars, webinars, guest lectures, and also advocacy. In different ways we share how their culture is working and how their case studies are working, how the students there are performing, what are the job opportunities in different states are available, how that can be incorporated into our state and program. So we are into mutual conversations, and that is a wonderful platform to work as a country. And the next one is a training program that is done for the personnel, that is women personnel or the police personnel. We call that as an in-service program. We give them actually the women personnel, that is in the service sector, for example the doctors, nurses, the police personnel, these sector of women are into very untimely work schedules and under immense work pressure. Okay, so these sectors of people very often call us over to handle sessions for them on emotional intelligence and how to maintain discipline about any harassment cases in their discipline, what are the remedies that could be found. So through this the students are also learning. Now as the ICC committee member of a central government organization, they are the state forest service officers for the full country who are there. Okay, one per state. So these state forest officers were given awareness on the ICC or how this can be handled and what are the different cases that they can handle and what are the remedies and how these issues have to be handled. All of them had so many issues to handle, and it was a very mutual interactive session. So we gave them a clear access to what is the workplace sexual harassment at workplace redressal act 2013, and what is the clause which comes under that, what is the meaning of abuse, and what is the type of abuses which can be appealed upon, and what are the type of punishments and what is the forum to be created. They were happy about it. We are in connect even today. So any other issues, they come to us and we sit and handle it for them. Then that is Avinash Nagam University, Dr. Ambedkar Institute sector, where the women empowerment details were discussed. Those girls were, we all know Dr. Ambedkar was a stalwart in development and empowerment of women. We also offer courses for them. We are always connected. We connect with them for field work, research activities, sharing of student exchange programs. We mutually learn from each other in our own areas of work. And definitely the refresher program. The UGC funds for conducting refresher on women studies every year for the last 4 years we've been conducting, which is refreshing the entrant faculty members, both male and female members, about the importance of women education and how this is supposed to be incorporated, how the gender champion clubs, I think that's one segment I was not so focused yet in this refresher program, because they are faculties from different institutions within a few states, 3 to 4 states in the south. So we teach them, or we educate them rather, I shouldn't say teach, educate them. We educate them about what a gender champion club is. Maybe for the onlookers, a gender champion club is again an initiative of the UGC, which states that select final year students of affiliated universities, institutions and the university have to be trained on importance of gender sensitization, how girls and boys have to respect each other, and how they have to learn to live as a society, and training programs, video clippings, film shows, all this have to be given to them and educated to them. And each student will be given a gender champion badge. Now this child will go back to the home institution. So each student goes back to the home institution and they will club with their faculty in that institution and educate the whole institution about what it means to be a gender sensitive individual. So this is a beautiful setting where we are able to reach thousands of students because of the few 20 we get every year. So we educate, we conduct sessions for them, we give them the badge and send them back, and this is for the final year student exclusively. So for 1 year that student is there. When the student leaves the institution, the student has to hand over the gender champion badge to the forthcoming final year. That set of students we will call for to the university, we train them and give the badge. So this badge, like a rolling trophy, will be a rolling badge, and the final year students will carry it over. So which means every year one society of students, I would use that word here, the society of students are getting educated. So through the student, another forum of society is getting educated. Again, the wind of change is created. Now this is a few of the extension activities that we are doing. The students would visit NGOs and go and learn with them, spend time with them, understand the true reality of life. It's not about Benz and Ford and something else. It is about the simplicities of life. So they also sit and spend time and learn from them. These are four, and that is the very close to my heart again. That is the Entrepreneurial Institute of India, Entrepreneurship Development EDIA Institute of India, which is the nation level institution at Ahmedabad, which conducts an annual training for select women scientists for 21 days. Okay, so I was so interested in taking up that program. I am a behavioral scientist, so along with the actual biological scientist, I was given an opportunity because of my interest, and definitely it was a wonderful program where we are trained by faculties from IIM Ahmedabad and EDIA Ahmedabad. They teach us about incubation centers, the ventures and the small ventures, big ventures, and also they will support us even when I need. If they want as a guest lecture, they'll come over. Now traveling is not a concern, so we can connect online. So I'm connected with those professors. So in my PhD diploma in women entrepreneurship and in my MA women studies program, all these learnings will be incorporated, which will give the students a high end edge of surviving in tomorrow's society. And this is nothing different for a student in Kerala, student in Karnataka, student in Jaipur, or student in Jammu Kashmir. We are all the same, we are all in the same environment. It's all about learning and executing in our own terrains. So students from Jammu Kashmir are always welcome. Maybe it may not be as cold as it is in Kashmir, but still we have a pleasant weather and we'll keep you safe. Now, this is about our Oregon State University Corvallis. So, this is an MOU which we have signed from 2020 to 2025 for faculty exchange and student exchange program. And definitely, shortly, we are planning to take the students, the current first years who are coming in, for an exchange program once things clear up. We will be taking them over there for a month stay or so that we learn through culture exchange and through various gender exchange or gender sensitive programs and sexuality studies. When you talk about sexuality studies, the scenario is so different in the global sector. So only when we go there, we get to understand. So we will go there, and these are the faculties in those institutions, along with our Indian faculties. My colleague, Dr. Kamleveni, who and other of my colleague from a neighboring institution who have all signed the MOU. She is Dr. Jayamala. So, and that's Dr. Susan Shaw who's sitting near me. She is the Director of Gender and Sexuality Studies of Oregon State University. So we are all partnering institutions, and we work together, and we will be working together in the next 5 years, so that the empowerment of women does not become just a name to be on the board, but it will be something to be talked and felt in the globe. So I think that was my conversation with you. I will not say presentation, conversation with you in short. And I think I will stop here. If there are any questions, I am willing to take. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Madam?
Madam, can you see me? I'm not able to see.
I'm just here.
Yes, yeah.
Really, I'm so happy, and really thanks to our Professor Dr. Vanita Madam, one who had taken care nearly 1.5 hours to be exposed to taking care of women empowerment. I hope it is a pleasurable opportunity to the Kashmir and Jammu Ladakh students and faculty members as well as the public to come to know the degree of studying the degree of as it is women's studies, as well as the wonderful understanding of the opportunities available in the particular degree. Thank you so much for your valuable time spent for the Ek Bharat Shesha Bharat of Marusa Bharathiar University. As a nodal coordinator of Ek Bharat Shesha Bharat, really I thank all the members who have participated for this program. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for your wonderful talk. And definitely it will be helpful to the students, and they can understand that what is women's studies and how they are going to get a job of it. And in this junction, I am happy to welcome our Professor Dr. Dayanand sir to take care of the vote of thanks as a deputy coordinator of Ek Bharat Shesha Bharat of our university. Dr. Dayanand, you can go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So once again,
excuse me, Dr. Dayanand, I'll take 2 minutes before you go forward. I'll have to thank the Bharathiar University, my most loving university, for having given us this platform, and definitely a big thanks to Professor Dr. Vimala for giving me this opportunity, because this is a wonderful platform to tell the nation, yeah, let's rule the world, come. So I think, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this nice opportunity. And thanks to all who have been patiently watching or listening. And thank you to Kashmir University and all the dignitaries who've taken the effort to give us this opportunity. Thank you once again. Dr. Dayanand, diocese is yours. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. So once again, good afternoon to all the participants, resource person and organizer of this program. And actually, I feel very much privileged to propose vote of thanks for the series of webinar which we are organizing under this Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program. So series of webinar in the sense, so actually we have planned to hold a 10 5-day programs. So this was the first program under the series of webinar on education tour of career development. So in this, and first and foremost, I like to thank the government organizers, especially from the central government as well as the state government organizers of this Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program, and for providing the opportunity to our Bharathiar University of Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, so to in organizing and conducting such programs. So such program in the sense to bridge the gaps between the educational, in the sense in our program we are taking the educational gap. So, so government has provided us an opportunity to bridge those educational gap between Tamil Nadu as well as the people from Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. So I thank the central and state government organizations especially for that opportunities. And I express my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Bharathiar University, Professor Dr. P. Kaliraj. So, sir actually always motivates us in organizing as well as delivering and participating in number of this teaching learning process of education. So, I express my sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, sir. And I am also very much thankful to our Registrar of Bharathiar University, Dr. K. Murugan. So actually, Sir has provided a continuous support, and Sir has always taken care of that, taken care that no lag has been provided in the administrative part and part of this program. So thank you, Sir. And I share my gratitude to our Russo coordinator of Bharathiar University, Professor Dr. Ruba Gunasilan, for asking the Department of Extension Career Guidance for organizing such webinar under the Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program. And I am very much grateful to our director of this Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program, Professor Dr. A. Vimala. He is also head of the Department of this Extension Career Guidance. So I like to thank her especially for the planning, organizing, as well as the coordinating capabilities in organizing such a series of webinars. Thank you very much, ma'am. So I also pleased to have the assistance of our associate professor of the department, Dr. S. Sadasivam, so for his continuous support throughout the program. Thank you, sir. And I share my heartfelt thanks to all the resource persons from day 1 to day 5, like Professor Dr. A. Vimla, Professor Sangeeta, Professor Ponpandian, Dr. Sivasamy, as well as Professor Sanita ma'am. So especially for their enlightening lectures towards the students from other states. So actually we have organized this program just to give an enlightening thoughts about the unique courses offered in our Bharathiar University. And I am very much happy that the students would have get a clear idea about the unique departments and the courses offered in those departments, as well as the job opportunity which actually kept untapped in those departments. And hope these sessions will be given a clear idea to all those participants from other states. And thank you very much for all the resource persons. And finally, I thank the faculties of our Department of Extension Career Guidance, especially Dr. Bhubadi, and also Mr. Naren for the technical assistance they have provided throughout this program right from day 1 to till now. And thank you very much. And not last but the least, I like to thank all the participants of the program. So because of, especially for the interest they have shown towards the program. So thank you very much. Once again, I thank all the participants, or all the stakeholders of the program, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Program continuing another 5 months. Every month, first week, a 5 days program will start. That 5 days program consists of various disciplines like what we have conducted series 1. And I think it goes to up to for November, December, January, February, March, and up to April the program will go on. Dear participants, and you can make use of this great opportunity. And every month, first week, you will get 5-day series of this program. Once again, thanks to all the participants and all the people, especially my guest faculty, Dr. Bhubadi, and and Dr. Dayanand is really, madam, and also our faculty and the coordinator Narendra Ratanraj as office faculty. And once again, thanks for your excellent contribution to this program. Dear viewers, thank you so much. See you again in the next month of such. Thank you so much. Take care.